AI art generators have completely changed the game for what we can create. For someone like me who sells digital products on Etsy, I'm able to create coloring pages, PNGs, my own mockups, SVGs, clip art. There are so many possibilities. But what happens when the AI art generator fumbles and gives me something weird in an image that I don't like? Like, I love everything else about it, but this one thing is such an issue. Today, I'm going to show you some of the different tools that I use to fix them so I can still use a great base image, but I can tweak the thing I don't like about it. For me, most often the first and best place to make these changes is within the art generator itself. I'm going to show you a few examples inside of them and then some outside of them in case you haven't found them working well for you. So we're going to start here in Midjourney and let's talk about this boot image, which is actually pretty good, but I will use it as an example. So let's say that I want to change these butterflies down here because they're not making as much sense on the ground. So the first thing I would do is I would click Vary Region, and this will pop up and allow me to select the area that I want to change. So I can use my cursor and I'm dragging and pulling to be able to select the area that I want to do. Now you can do a small area, you can do a big area. I could have left everything and just done the entire boots, but left the background. For the purposes of this, let's see what it gives us if we just ask for the butterflies to be changed to something else. I'm thinking, is there anything else? I think I'm going to leave it all. It's a pretty great image. And then we're going to hit submit. So it took about 2 minutes to process and it gave us these examples. So everything is the same, but it's tried some different things. So we can see this one. No, this is actually worse than the butterflies. This one's okay, but that's also a bit of a weird, that looks very AI. This one looks excellent. Like I love what it did here by just putting in another flower. It looks very balanced. And then this one's okay. I'm not loving how it added this other random thing in here, but I think we've got a winner, and that's the great thing about Midjourney giving us 4 things. So from there, I could go ahead and upscale image 4, and I could move ahead with this. So I love the Vary Region tool. I think it's one of the best and strongest ways to create edits. Whenever I'm using Midjourney, like I love it for PNGs. I love it for anything watercolor. It's kind of my like OG favorite tool. But now let's go over to Ideogram. And we are going to talk about how you can edit it here. To me, I don't like this editing tool as well, but it does do the job. So we're going to use this example of a PNG that I created. I feel like this flower is completely random. Like why? Why is it there? And so what we're going to do to edit this is we're going to click Open in Canvas. And this is the tool within Ideogram where you can make changes. So in order to edit this rando little flower, we're going to click Magic Fill. So this is the button right here. It creates a little lasso, and I can go ahead and draw a box around the thing that I want to edit. So I'm going to try to make sure that I don't include any of the other image because I like everything else where it is. So after you hit next, it'll allow you to go ahead and type in what you want it to replace it with. You can give it some instructions. So I'm just going to type in little pink butterfly and click Magic Fill. It's going to process for a minute or two, and then it's going to show me one example of what it created, which was a whole lot of nothing, which frankly is still better than the random flower. But if you go back over to Ideogram and into your creations, it's going to actually give me 4 different options. It looks like it ignored my instruction to remove to put a little butterfly there. Honestly, that's completely fine. The whole point is that is where you can make adjustments. You can tell it to do what AI will sometimes listen to you, sometimes not. But that over there in Canvas is where you can make the edits in Ideogram. Again, I like Midjourney's Vary Region feature better, but I love Ideogram, particularly for coloring pages. It does really well. It does SVG designs really well. And I often have a good experience doing text designs with it. I feel like Midjourney doesn't get the text quite right. So let's say you're done in the AI or you don't like what the AI did, and instead you want to see what you can accomplish off of the AI art generating platform. So let me show you what I can do in Photoshop as an example. Please know, I used to be so intimidated by Photoshop. I'm like not professionally trained. Everything is self-learned. And this feature is actually one of the main reasons I learned Photoshop. My little like suggestion for you if you feel overwhelmed by Photoshop is to just learn how to use one thing. I think all of these different tools can feel super overwhelming and just make people not even want to try. But if you just learn one thing at a time, and this one's a really powerful one to harness, I think it can be worth it. I do know that sometimes we don't want to add another subscription, which is why after this I'll show you Canva, but I actually think this is one of the best ones. So what we were going to do is we're going to get this lasso tool. It's like the rectangular marquee tool, and we are going to click over the part that we want to change. I'm just going to switch out this B because I think it doesn't really make any sense in the art piece here. So I'm going to go ahead and select it. I'm just dragging and dragging and pulling, clicking and pulling, I should say. We're going to click generative fill, and then you can tell it what you want it to see. So I can say just, fill the space to match the image. We'll do that. Earlier when I tested it, I did a butterfly and it put in a few options there. So I'll show you what that looked like as well in a second. We're going to click generate. Okay, so just like the in Midjourney, how it gives you the 4 options for very region, it's going to do that here as well. It's going to give us some options, and we can see like it literally tried to write fill the space. So it takes you very literally. I could have just left that blank and that might have been better. So this isn't going to work. This option isn't going to work, but this is perfect. So there we are. I was able to remove the image. Now let me show you what happened earlier when I told it to do a butterfly. I need to turn this one back on. So it gave me this option, and this option when I typed in butterfly. I literally just typed the word, you can see right here, just the word butterfly. I actually think this one's pretty great. So I could have used that as an alternative if I wanted to. The other little secret about Photoshop that made me want to learn this is sometimes you want to create like a seamless design. So you see how these like jagged edges, if it were to go on a Tumblr or something like that, it wouldn't go together properly. It only looks good kind of flat 2-dimensionally like this. And so here's a little trick. So we can take this design. We're going to use the move tool, and I'm going to, first of all, I'm going to duplicate it. So image, duplicate. And you can just click OK. And then you can take one of them. Oops, did it not duplicate? It didn't. Okay, that's all right. I'm going to move this. I'm going to move the image straight to the middle. See how it'll give you the little guideline? I love that. And then I'm going to do Control C, Control V, and it will copy it. So I've got 2 pictures of the exact same thing. And I'm going to butt them up together. So the center of my image is this thing that I want to look as though it was one piece. I want it to look good just like this as well. Like make this a seamless edges. So I'm going to merge these together. I'm going to come over here to the layers and select both of them. I'm using, you can just click, you have to hold down Control to click more than one. I'm going to right click and merge them together to make it, I'm just making it one image. So as opposed to 2 that are butting up against each other, it's just one image. Now I'm going to use that same selection tool, the rectangular marquee tool, and I'm going to select this whole middle part. So for example, from here, and just draw a rectangle. And then I'm going to click generative fill. I'm not going to give it any instructions. I'm just going to say generate, because what I want it to do is just kind of match the surroundings. I want to make this look like it goes together perfectly. There's a lot of different applications for digital products where you would want that tool, or you might just be creating an image where there's like a big kind of random vertical swatch or even horizontal swatch that you want to change just that part. And so here we go. It gave us this or this, which is great, or this. So it gives you options. I personally think this looks absolutely spectacular. And now it is like ready to go and it's a seamless image. So what I would do from here is merge this layer with the original. So I'm going to hold down Control and click the second one, right click, and I'm going to merge them together, merge layers. So now this is all just one image. It's totally fixed. I'm going to come back to the move tool and I'm going to click Control A, which selects the exact like easel, or what is it, like artboard that we're working on. And now Control J, which is going to cut everything else. Because before, if we go back, before, see, we have all of this still here, and we don't want that. So we're going to go undo. So if we go Control A, or if you're on a Mac, it's Command. Control A, Control J, or Control A, Command J. Now we've got it. It's all cut perfectly. So I don't need both of these layers. I'm going to just delete out the generative fill layer. I need this. And when I move this to the midpoint, look for my little guidelines, and then copy it so I can duplicate it, image, duplicate. And I can pull this over, oops. Pull the duplicated one over, and it matches up perfectly. So now I have a seamless image because of that generative fill feature. It is so great. So finally, let's go over into Canva because we're all very comfortable with it and see what we can do there. So if I'm honest, there's a lot of tools that I use in Canva to help me edit my designs, but their generative fill is just not quite there yet. So let me show some examples. So if we were to go to edit, there are going to be a bunch of tools in here. Now I use the magic eraser all the time. I use the background remover all the time. I use the magic grab. You can edit text, which is spectacular. But for example, if I want to, the magic edit is supposed to be like a generative fill, but let's say I color this bee and I ask it to make me describe what to add or change. Remove the bee and add a butterfly. Generate. Saying magic eraser may be a better option for this. Yeah, but we're trying to put something new in. So this doesn't usually work. We'll see. We might be like one of those rando examples where it does, but this really isn't. I prefer to use either the tool within the AI art generator or Photoshop for the generative fill. And as you can see, it just did like a terrible job with that. So we're going to do cancel, and we're not going to use that. And so I really wouldn't bother. Like the only thing I would do is if I was okay with it, I would just go edit magic eraser, and I would erase. I'm just holding down my mouse and clicking on it and make the brush size a little smaller and just erase the things that are part of what I don't want. Like this is what I would do if I was stuck with only Canva, and process that. And then I would go back to edit and I would do magic grab. And I always wants to default to click. I suggest going to brush so you can select what you want. And what I would do is I would just like highlight this piece, click grab. It takes a minute or two. And then I don't actually, since I grabbed it, I could actually remove it. That's not what I really want to do. In this case, what I'm going to do is I'm going to duplicate it, move it over here. I'm going to flip it. And I'm just going to kind of finagle it into this spot here so it looks like it was meant to be. And that's the kind of thing I would do with Canva. Now, what it's great for, and to use that kind of example again, so this is a different image, but this flower is so weird, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to edit, I'm going to go to magic eraser, and I'm going to remove this. Since the background is transparent, it should just perfectly remove it. It's not going to try, because usually it tries to match it to the background. So we're going to remove that, and then I would go to the other tool and I go back to magic grab, and we want again, I always have to click off of click and go to brush. Select this guy, this cute little butterfly, grab, and kind of just like we did above, I would go ahead and duplicate this, bring it over, make it a bit smaller, and then I'd kind of just place it exactly where it needs to go. But here's what's great. I can change the colors. So I can kind of play with it and see what looks good. Not quite, not quite. Oh, that's not bad. But I love that I can do that, or I can use this and I can like see how I can match it. And so that's what makes it look, this is what I think Canva is great for. So I hope this helps. Like when you get those extra fingers or those weird parts of the picture and it's otherwise perfect, there are some workarounds. They're with tools that you're generally familiar with, and or like learn that Photoshop. Let me tell you, that's a game changer. But really built right in there to the AI art creation tool are great resources to help you edit exactly the part that you want. So I hope this helps you make even better AI designs and be able to work faster and smarter, not harder. And if you want to learn how to sell these kinds of things on Etsy, such as coloring pages, SVGs, PNGs, Tumblr wraps, wall art, we've done so many. I've done so many AI workshops. I actually right here on Etsy have a free, on YouTube, have a free clip art tutorial, like from beginning to end, how I create bulk clip art to sell on Etsy. But if you really want to dig into one of my workshops where I show everything from how to use a database decision to decide what to create, like what is in demand on Etsy, from the beginning of writing the prompts and how I figure out how to write them, working them through the AI, creating and packaging the Etsy product, writing the descriptions, finding the best SEO. I go into all of that in my workshops, and I have some crazy discounts for only my YouTube family right below the video. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you have learned a ton. Let me know your favorite takeaway in the comments and what else you'd like to learn here. Have a great day.